of art usually refers to an interaction between light, color, texture, sound, shape, motion, and size that is pleasing to the senses, and most of all how it created and its impact.
Hello, I'm Jenny Miapi. For this video, let's talk about some art styles and how these arts amazingly created and bloom. Without further ado, let's start. First, before we can appreciate an art or artwork, we need to understand and read the image of an artwork. Spending time looking, thinking, and exploring is rewarded by a depth of perception and a rather sophisticated level of understanding about a work of a context. And according to Guillermo, art should be placed in society and history because the two are always connected. And the basic documentary information of an artwork includes the following: title of the work, artist, medium and technique, dimensions or measurement, date of the work, and last is the provenance. Viewing and knowing this basic information is a process of discovery because the works and meaning can grow with time. And now let's proceed to some art style which make us gaze. First, we have photorealism. It is a style of art in which images are made to look so real that for the untrained observer, it's almost impossible to decide whether the picture is a photograph or a painting or a drawing. Photorealist art is most appreciated for its huge wow factor. That's part of its beauty, realizing that the image before you is not a photo, but a painstaking work of a dedicated artist. And now I'm featuring some of the best and mind-blowing photorealistic painting. Let's take a look at this. A cat face by Norma Beatriz-Zaro, and it's painted in acrylic. It is amazing because the cat looks so real. And then the another one is a piebald horse by Irina Kokrosova, and it is painted in watercolor Sander Waterford. How iconic that photorealist paintings take many hours to complete, requiring intense concentration and in-depth knowledge of the materials. The end result can be breathtaking and wondrously fun and wonderful. And then we have another art movement called pop art. It is emerged in the United Kingdom and the United States during the mid to late 1950s. The movement presented a challenge to traditions of fine art by including imagery from popular and mass culture, such as advertising, comic books, and mundane mass-produced objects. Pop artists incorporate common objects in this art such as cans, comic strips, newspapers, and more. This movement aimed to solidify the idea that art can draw an inspiration or can create contents from any source that is popular in the time being. And here's some examples. Drowning Girl by Roy Lichtenstein. The painting has been described as a masterpiece of a melodrama and is one of the artist's earliest images depicting women in tragic situations, a theme to which he often returned in the mid-1960s. It shows a teary-eyed woman on a turbulent sea. She is emotionally distressed, seemingly from a romance. Another one is a Marilyn's Diptych by Andy Warhol. It was a Marilyn Monroe series of photographs in which one part is in color and the other fades to black and white. The monumental work is one of the artist's most noted of the movie star. The painting consists of 50 images. Each image of the actress is taken from the single publicity photograph from the film Niagara in 1953. Next, we have the conceptual art. It is the art for which the idea or concept behind the work is more important than the finished art object, because it is a process of conception with realization with which is the artist is concerned. And here are some examples. The Red Square White Letters by Sol LeWitt. He felt that color distracted from the idea of art by drawing attention to art's mere physical properties. In this piece, he subverts the tendency by placing the names of the colors on the piece. Another one is 1 and 3 Chairs by Joseph Cosot. He presents a photograph of a chair, a physical chair, and a dictionary definition of a chair and asks, which is the real chair? The physical chair could be considered a reproduction of the definition, as is the photograph a reproduction of the physical chair. Cosot rebelled against traditional categories of painting and sculpture. In his essay Art After Philosophy, he argued that after Duchamp's ready-made art's only task is to question and define what art is. By choosing simply to paint or sculpt, an artist is merely accepting and not questioning traditional definitions of art. So therefore, conceptual art is not meant to be looked at aesthetically, but to be thought about intellectually, and that is the beauty of this movement. And we have another one art movement, the minimalism art. It is a unique type of art developed in the USA during the 1950s, and it is created using simple geometric shapes. Here are some examples. The Rainbow Picket by Judy Chicago. It is a sculptural artwork made out of 6 trapezoids of various colors and lengths. Another one is Pink Out of a Corner by Dan Flavin. As its title proposes, Pink Out of a Corner was created to be transparent and viewed from an angle. He uses fluorescent light and metal fixture. So minimalist art can be viewed as a movement to broaden the abstract thought that art should be clear and expressive in style and meaning. Next, the medieval art. So, medieval art of the Western world covers a vast scope of time and place. Over 1,000 years of art in Europe and at certain periods in Western Asia and Northern Africa. It includes major art movements and periods, national and regional art, genre revivals, the artist crafts, and the artists themselves. Medieval art was produced in many media and works survive in large numbers in sculpture, illuminated manuscripts, stained glass metalwork, and mosaics. Here are some examples. The Christ of Mercy between the prophets David and Jeremiah by Diego de la Cruz, and medieval frescoes in the Zeman Monastery in Bulgaria. Middle Ages paintings were rich with religious symbolism and imagery. Medieval artists and their paintings predominantly portrayed by holy figures and biblical narratives. These narratives had a high hierarchy which was predominantly dictated by the spaces the paintings would occupy. The medieval artwork that depicted scenes considered to be more important would occupy notable focal points in a church or altarpiece. Then lastly, the Roman art. It refers to visual arts that were designed in ancient Rome. During the time of the Roman Empire, Roman art comprises of architecture, sculpture, and mosaic works. Sculpture and figure painting were regarded as the highest forms of Roman art. And here's some examples. The Orator, 1st century, a life-size bronze statue of a man named Olli Metelli, commonly known as the Orator, dates back to the early 1st century and alludes to the regions of the Roman Empire. The Orator raises his arm to a crowd although he is Etruscan. He wears an outfit typical of a Roman magistrate, a short toga and boots. The other one is a column of Trajan in ancient Rome. This monumental column stands as a landmark in the city and is one of the best preserved monuments of the ancient Rome. A stunning structure just by itself, there are in addition of total of 262 figures carved into its surface depicting 155 different scenes, allowing it to tell a story of its own. The true beauty of art is the reason why they are created, their purpose, history, and culture, and most of all, how they reflect life. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.